Fans were left stunned as AJ Lee stormed the WWE ring, seemingly ready to challenge the unthinkable, Paul Heyman himself. What happened next would shock viewers across the globe. The arena lights dimmed, and the crowd's anticipation reached a fever pitch. AJ Lee, known for her fearless attitude and unpredictable outbursts, walked down the ramp with a glare that could pierce steel. The WWE Universe sensed something monumental was about to unfold. Cameras captured every angle, zooming in on Heyman, who was mic in hand, exuding his usual confidence. Paul Heyman, the master manipulator, never seemed rattled until tonight. Fans couldn't believe what they were seeing. This was not a typical confrontation. It felt personal, raw, and unscripted. Heyman began his trademark promo, his voice echoing through the arena. He belittled competitors, threw subtle insults, and seemed poised to humiliate AJ Lee in front of thousands. But as Heyman spoke, AJ's eyes burned with intensity. The crowd erupted into chaos, chanting her name. Viewers on social media went wild, flooding feeds with clips and reactions as tension mounted. AJ Lee didn't just want to respond, she wanted to dominate. Every word Heyman uttered was met with a glare that made it clear he was treading on dangerous ground. Suddenly, AJ stepped forward, cutting off Heyman mid-sentence. The crowd's roar was deafening. The camera captured every detail, her finger pointing, her voice rising over the audience, and Heyman momentarily frozen. It was a power shift, one that no one had anticipated. WWE insiders described the moment as electric, as if the air itself had thickened. AJ's promo wasn't just sharp, it was strategic, calling out Heyman's manipulations, reminding him and the WWE Universe that she was not a pawn in anyone's game. Fans couldn't take their eyes off the screen. Every statement was punctuated with precision, every gesture demanding attention. As the tension peaked, Heyman attempted to regain control, launching into one of his most iconic rebuttals. But AJ Lee, ever resourceful, anticipated his every move. The crowd went wild with each verbal counter, witnessing a masterclass in mic skills and psychological warfare. Viewers on social media reacted instantly, with hashtags trending and clips going viral. The arena's energy was palpable, a mix of disbelief and exhilaration. AJ Lee had done what few could. She had interrupted the unstoppable force of Paul Heyman and held the audience in suspense. And just as the audience thought the exchange might de-escalate, AJ's final words hit like a lightning strike. Heyman's expression shifted from smug confidence to visible shock. The WWE Universe leaned forward in their seats, whispers spreading like wildfire. The section ends here, but the tension is far from over. Could AJ really dismantle Heyman live on TV? The next segment promises answers, and an even more shocking confrontation. Just when fans thought the confrontation had reached its peak, AJ Lee's next move left the WWE Universe in absolute shock. Paul Heyman, the man who had never been silenced, was suddenly on the defensive. The arena was buzzing with anticipation. AJ Lee, still standing tall in the ring, had transformed from challenger to the one controlling the narrative. The camera panned across the audience, every fan on their feet, eyes wide, mouths open in disbelief. Viewers on social media were erupting with reaction clips, GIFs, and memes, proving that this moment was already historic. Heyman, who had always exuded confidence and arrogance, now seemed to calculate, as if realizing that he had underestimated AJ. The dynamic had shifted entirely. AJ's tone was deliberate and razor-sharp. She tore into Heyman's tactics, dissecting his manipulative strategies one by one. Her words weren't just a promo, they were a masterclass in psychological warfare. The crowd erupted with every insult she delivered, cheering her courage, while Heyman struggled to regain his usual composure. Fans couldn't believe what they were seeing. AJ Lee, often underestimated, now dominating one of WWE's most formidable voices. The arena echoed with chants of her name, creating a soundtrack that amplified the tension between the two. Then, in a shocking twist, AJ Lee stepped closer, reducing the distance between herself and Heyman. Cameras zoomed in on the intensity in her eyes, capturing the moment every WWE fan had been waiting for. Heyman, microphone trembling slightly, attempted to retort, but AJ interrupted again, her delivery precise, cutting, and relentless. Viewers on social media went wild, flooding feeds with the clip of Heyman's rare vulnerability. The crowd could sense that something extraordinary was about to happen, an unpredictable act that would leave a lasting impression on WWE history. The tension escalated further when AJ Lee made her intentions clear. She wasn't there merely to argue. She was there to expose Heyman, challenge him, and leave the audience questioning his invincibility. The arena was on fire, with fans shouting, cheering, and even booing in shock at the audacity of the confrontation. Social media exploded with reactions, trending hashtags, split-second analysis, and fan theories about what AJ might do next. Every WWE analyst watching live agreed. This was a defining moment in AJ Lee's career. And then, just as the intensity seemed unsustainable, AJ Lee delivered a final verbal strike that stunned everyone. Heyman's face revealed a rare crack in his armor, his smirk replaced by a fleeting expression of disbelief. The crowd erupted into chaos, screaming at the top of their lungs. Viewers on social media went insane, sharing every angle and replay of the moment. The cliffhanger, AJ Lee wasn't done yet. What happens next could rewrite WWE history and leave Heyman forever marked by this confrontation. Just when it seemed AJ Lee had dominated the verbal battlefield, the unthinkable happened. The confrontation took a shocking physical turn that no one saw coming. The crowd was on its feet as AJ circled Heyman, her eyes burning with intensity. Fans couldn't believe what they were witnessing, a moment that felt unscripted yet cinematic, like a scene out of a WWE thriller. Cameras captured every angle, from the smirks of ringside commentators to the anxious faces of backstage personnel. Viewers on social media were already reacting, posting clips with captions like, "AJ Lee just went too far," and "Heyman is done." The arena buzzed with electricity. Every heartbeat seemed synchronized with the tension in the ring. Heyman, usually unflappable, took a step back, trying to regain control. His microphone wavered in his hand as he attempted to continue his rebuttal. But AJ Lee, in a sudden display of fearless aggression, closed the gap between them. The crowd erupted into chaos, chants mixing with gasps as the intensity escalated. Fans on social media went wild, sharing GIFs and slow-motion replays of AJ's menacing approach. It wasn't just a confrontation, it was a masterclass in suspense and theatrical timing. Then came the pivotal moment. AJ Lee, with the precision of a seasoned pro, delivered a sharp, commanding gesture that signaled she wasn't afraid to take things further. Heyman froze, visibly caught off guard, as the arena erupted with a mix of cheers and stunned silence. The camera panned across ringside faces, commentators leaning forward, fans holding their breath, and backstage staff whispering in disbelief. Viewers could sense that this was the moment WWE history could change. AJ's words cut through the roar of the crowd, a mixture of challenge and warning. "You've manipulated everyone for too long, Paul," she shouted. The crowd responded immediately, chanting her name and echoing her defiance. Heyman tried to speak, to defend himself, but AJ anticipated his every move. Every pause, every gesture, every shift in tone was calculated to unsettle the mastermind. Fans couldn't believe the audacity. The crowd erupted into chaos with each line she delivered. Social media posts skyrocketed with the clip, reactions calling it one of AJ Lee's most fearless moments ever. And just as the arena's energy reached a fever pitch, AJ Lee leaned in, whispering something that only Heyman could hear. His expression changed instantly, a rare, human crack in his armor. The crowd sensed the magnitude of what had just transpired. Viewers on social media went insane, speculating endlessly about what she might do next. The segment ended with Heyman frozen in place, the arena echoing with cheers, and AJ Lee standing victorious, at least for now. But the story was far from over. What shocking twist could possibly follow in the next chapter? The WWE Universe was left hanging, desperate for the next moment of chaos. The tension in the arena was unbearable as AJ Lee stared down Paul Heyman, the unthinkable about to unfold. WWE fans were on the edge of their seats. Nobody knew what would happen next. AJ Lee's presence in the ring had completely shifted the energy. Fans couldn't believe what they were seeing. The usually untouchable Heyman was visibly rattled, sweating under the arena lights. The crowd erupted into chaos, some chanting AJ's name, others booing in shock, while cameras captured every micro-expression. Viewers on social media went wild, posting reaction clips, GIFs, and commentary as hashtags related to the confrontation began trending worldwide. AJ's calculated defiance had transformed the arena into a living, breathing spectacle of suspense and drama. Heyman tried to regain his footing, attempting a trademark verbal jab, but AJ anticipated him at every turn. The crowd went insane as she cut him off mid-sentence, her words sharp, precise, and unrelenting. Fans couldn't believe her audacity. She wasn't just speaking. She was commanding the ring, asserting dominance in a way few WWE superstars could. Social media exploded with reactions praising AJ's courage and cleverness. The arena lights reflected off her determined eyes, emphasizing that this was more than a confrontation. This was a battle for control, both psychologically and physically. Then, in a shocking escalation, AJ Lee advanced closer, reducing the distance to mere inches. Heyman, usually composed and manipulative, showed a rare flicker of hesitation. The crowd erupted into cheers and gasps, sensing the imminent turning point. Fans on social media flooded platforms with clips, rewinding to capture every detail. AJ's calculated gestures, Heyman's startled expressions, and the charged reactions of the audience. Commentators couldn't hide their astonishment. It was one of the most tense WWE moments in recent memory. As AJ spoke, her words cut deeper, exposing Heyman's vulnerabilities and reminding the WWE Universe why she was a force to be reckoned with. The crowd's energy reached a fever pitch. Chants and cheers drowned out the arena's commentary, signaling complete support for AJ. Viewers on social media went wild, sharing, liking, and debating every line and action in real time. The intensity was cinematic, almost surreal, like a perfectly choreographed showdown where every movement mattered. And just when the audience thought the moment couldn't escalate further, AJ Lee delivered a shocking physical gesture, a subtle, yet symbolically devastating act that left Heyman frozen in disbelief. The crowd erupted, pandemonium breaking out as fans cheered and screamed in unison. Social media exploded with the viral clip, GIFs, and instant analysis. The cliffhanger, AJ Lee had gained the upper hand, but could she maintain control? The WWE Universe held its collective breath, eager to see if the mastermind of manipulation, Paul Heyman, could recover, or if this would mark one of the most shocking moments in WWE history. The WWE Universe could barely breathe as AJ Lee prepared for the final act. What happened next would leave fans and viewers on social media in absolute shock. The arena was electric, every fan on their feet, eyes glued to the ring. AJ Lee, radiating confidence and fury, stood mere inches from Paul Heyman, who looked for the first time in years genuinely unsure of his next move. The crowd erupted into chaos, chants echoing through every corner of the stadium. Fans couldn't believe what they were witnessing. The fearless AJ Lee had not only survived Heyman's manipulations but had turned the tables entirely. Social media went wild, clips of the confrontation trending instantly, fans sharing every moment and replaying the shock in slow motion. AJ's voice cut through the noise, sharp and unwavering, every word designed to dismantle Heyman's ego and control. She called out his manipulations, his tactics, and his years of psychological games. The crowd roared, hanging on every syllable, some cheering, others gasping at her audacity. Viewers online erupted with reactions. AJ just exposed Heyman like never before, and this is historic WWE footage. The energy in the arena was palpable, with every camera angle capturing the tension between two of WWE's most iconic personalities. Heyman attempted to respond, but AJ anticipated every word. Her strategy was flawless, a combination of verbal precision, psychological dominance, and raw audacity. Fans couldn't believe how she maneuvered him into a position of vulnerability. The crowd erupted into chaos as AJ leaned in, locking eyes with Heyman, her presence commanding complete control of the narrative. Social media exploded with commentary, reaction clips, and fan theories, all highlighting AJ Lee's historic domination of one of WWE's most infamous minds. Then, in the climactic moment, AJ delivered a subtle yet symbolic act that left Heyman completely stunned. The crowd's eruption was deafening, a mixture of cheers, screams, and disbelief. Viewers on social media went insane. Clips went viral within seconds, and WWE analysts described it as one of the most shocking moments in recent memory. Fans couldn't stop talking about it. Hashtags trended globally, and the moment became an instant part of WWE history. As the dust settled, AJ Lee stood victorious, her defiance cemented in the minds of every fan watching live or online. Heyman, uncharacteristically shaken, slowly regained composure, but the damage was done. The arena buzzed with conversations. Social media feeds exploded, and the WWE Universe knew they had just witnessed a defining moment. The final cliffhanger lingered. What would be the repercussions of this confrontation? Could Paul Heyman strike back, or had AJ Lee forever changed the balance of power in WWE? The story didn't end here. It was only the beginning of a new, electrifying chapter in WWE history.